Let's look at the composition of the Earth's atmosphere. This information is from Wikipedia, but it's in line with other sources as well. We got nitrogen. It does not absorb or emit infrared radiation, but it's about 78% of the atmosphere. Oxygen is about 21%. It also does not absorb or emit infrared. Argon is roughly 1%. It does not absorb or emit infrared. So the normal atmosphere is not greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide, on the other hand, does absorb and emit infrared, and so does water vapor, which is really the most important greenhouse gas. So my question was, could, with a normal infrared camera, like the Flare 1 Pro that I've got for my iPhone, see hot air? And if not, can I see hot carbon dioxide? So we're going to test that out in the shop and see what we find. I was recently watching a video analysis of an unidentified flying object, and this is just a stainless steel bowl, just to represent something like that. But they made a comment that the object in the center looked hot and the air around it looked cold, and I thought, I'm no infrared thermography expert, but I thought, I'm not sure you can see cold air or hot air with an infrared thermal camera. So I want to do a few experiments just to see if we can determine whether or not that could be true. So here's my experimental setup. I've got just a sheet of plywood here. I'm going to wet it down, make it a uniform, relatively cool temperature. This is a Raychem heat shrinkable tubing air gun. Gets up to something like 300 degrees F. I've got a thermocouple here, one over here going to a dual channel digital thermometer so I can monitor the ambient air and the airstream temperature here. And also have a portable steam generator. We'll give it a shot of steam. I've got a compressed air source. I'll give it a shot of that. And so what we're going to be looking for is to see if we can see a difference, see if we can see the hot air coming out of this. And of course we can't see it with a visible camera. We're going to try it with infrared. So I've got these CO2 bicycle tire inflators as a source of CO2. So I'm just going to give it a shot of CO2 inside the intake of this hot air gun. We'll see if that makes a difference, if we can see that. And then we'll just give a blast of just CO2 out in the air and see if we see that. So I hope we learn something interesting, and we'll see what happens. The infrared camera I'm going to be using, the same one I've used in some other videos. It's a Flare Pro 1 attachment for my iPhone. Works pretty good, but it's not super high resolution or high speed or anything like that, but it may show us something for this. So we'll try it out. So we're going to turn on the heat, watch the thermocouple, see what it gets up to. That little thing right there is the thermocouple. But we don't really see any hot air coming out of it. Okay. What we're going to do now is give it a shot of CO2. It cools down the airstream a little bit. We're reading 228 degrees F now. We'll give it a shot of steam. You can see that very easily, that hot water. We'll try our matte gas torch and see what we get. Of course, you can see the hot gases coming off of that, carbon dioxide or whatever, water vapor. And we've got just compressed air. Now that I've had a chance to review the infrared video footage, I noticed you definitely could see a plume of hot CO2 coming up, kind of a yellowish color, definitely different than background. One other thing I wanted to do is just see if we could just see cold CO2. So we'll give this a try. Okay, I'm going to give a blast of CO2 air over here instead of over there, because it's a little bit warmer background, to see if it shows it. I'm going to turn the hot air back on, lift the heat on, and we'll give it a shot of steam directly in the hot air gun. I really like doing this. Afraid I'll mess it up, but let's see if that comes out the nozzle. Definitely see the steam by itself. Okay, let's see what that did. Okay, I've got a fresh CO2 cartridge, nice and warm. We'll try that one. We're up to 296. Whoop. Filling it down to, pull that thermocouple down to 235. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, let's review what we saw. Could not see hot air coming out of this hot air gun with the visible light camera or with the infrared camera. Just can't see it. No difference from background. We put CO2 into the intake. We could see that. Definitely a yellowish plume coming out of here, different than background temperatures. We could see steam in the air, but surprisingly, when we put steam into the intake of the hot air gun, didn't really see a plume coming out of here. That surprised me, but it could be something to do with the different infrared absorption emission bands comparing water to carbon dioxide. And we also used a compressed air. Couldn't see that. Definitely can see a matte gas plume, which you would expect, hot CO2, carbon monoxide, hot water vapor coming out of it. So if you're looking at something, whether it's something that's unidentified, I think it's, if you see something that looks like hot or cold air, it may not be. It could be a greenhouse gas or an actual object. Be my guess, anyway, based on what I've seen. I guess if we did see air with infrared thermal cameras, you wouldn't be able to look at anything with infrared. The air would just absorb or emit all the infrared, not to mention the fact the earth would be burning up if the air was a greenhouse gas. You know, oxygen, nitrogen, and argon, primarily nitrogen. Thank goodness it isn't, and but we do like the fact that water vapor is a greenhouse gas. It helps moderate Earth's temperatures, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.